Oh. There you go.
Mickey and I started out the first time many, many years ago. We've had a lot of our dreams come true. Now we want you to share with us our latest and greatest dream. That's it, right here. Disneyland. Now on a site of 240 acres near the city of Anaheim in Southern California, right about in here, we've begun to build Disneyland the place. We hope that it will be unlike anything else on this earth.
It was once the largest producer of wine in California. But because of a disease in the grapevines, by the first half of the 20th century, Anaheim was instead dominated by orange groves and walnut trees. It's true. While you're here, please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share with your friends and family. And comment below, what's your favorite sign or crafted item from a theme park, ride, or attraction? Around the 1940s, Anaheim had several massive population growths. Then, with the southern expansion of the Santa Ana Freeway in the 1950s, and with it seemingly having the best weather conditions, these would all lead it to becoming one of the most recognizable travel destinations in the world. All thanks to a certain little mouse, a man named Walt, and another gentleman known as Buzz. But this isn't the story about the man who created it. And it's not about the resort itself. It's not even about the location. No, this is the history of Disneyland's landmark signs. In 1955, Disneyland first opens, and though its address is 1313 Harbor Boulevard, there are no visible signs to mark the destination along the road. Only billboards that highlight the exit off the freeway. However, there are plazas with toll booths as you enter the parking lot from either Harbor Boulevard or Cattell Avenue. These plazas have Disneyland spelled out along the top edge of the roof in plain font, though these weren't even close to being a landmark sign. 1956. The Disneyland Hotel sets the stage when it adds a landmark sign, while Disneyland still has none. Each letter was separated into its own little box sitting on top of posts. The letters were in all black with a white background, while the D and the H have a yellow background to make them stand out. In 1958, a couple years after the Disneyland Hotel got its sign, Disneyland finally got a landmark sign of its own. Inspired by that sign from the hotel, this Disneyland sign sports the same color scheme, but with a friendlier, condensed look. This sign also has the same box letter panels, but on both sides, making it easier to read. But since the backs of some of the panels could be seen from the other side, they were given a different, more vibrant color scheme in order to stand out, and added banners or flags sitting upon the towering post at the top of the sign were also in the same colors. It also sported a similar marquee to show different messages and promotions. You're going to be seeing me build a custom version of this sign throughout this video. Now, it's just a brief overview, so if you like a more in-depth tutorial-based video, I have another channel called Interactive Realm, and I'll link that on the description below and at the end of the video. And there you'll find a full-blown video on how to make this sign. Now, Disney does sell a version of this sign. It's about 2 feet wide, it has no flags, made out of one piece of wood, and the graphics are just printed on. My client, though, wanted one that was pretty much a replica of the real one, made out of wood, with the panels and the backside showing, and he wanted it 4 feet wide. The only difference is instead of at the bottom saying park and hotel entrance, we are instead going with the happiest place on earth. Now, let's continue. 1975. It may be a sign of the times, so to speak, but those times happened to be in the 1950s. So, a little facelift was needed, and thus our sign was updated with a clean dark blue and white color scheme. No longer does it say park and hotel entrance, but rather it now says America on Parade. And oddly enough, it is displayed in red and stands out more than the Disneyland letters do themselves. A few years before, the marquee was also replaced with an electronic version, which still remains on this updated sign. Over the years, the tagline, along with its red coloring, has changed from America on Parade to the happiest place on earth. Then, the best has just begun. And again, back to the happiest place on earth, which, despite any promotional changes to the signs, has remained the official tagline. And unfortunately, the flags and supporting posts at the top were removed. (1989). The sign has now been completely redesigned. Still supporting the classic Disneyland font, though slightly updated. But the size and the shape of the sign are different, and it now has a new digital computer-controlled marquee box to display messages and animated graphics. The top of the sign, however, seems familiar, as it once again has colorful, albeit much shorter flags, and in the center is an image of Disneyland's iconic castle. It also features fiber optics to display different color changing effects on the letters. In 2001. We just got a second Disney theme park. Oddly, it's based on California. But the crazy thing is, they built it right where the parking lot used to be. That means there were major changes to the entrance and more. So that modernized sign had to go. Now we have this sign that faces toward Harbor Boulevard, no longer making it visible from the north and south. Though, it does stretch across the entrance, which is kinda nice. Plus, they changed the font, and we're now calling it a resort. This is because we now have the second park, known as Disney's California Adventure, new hotels, and our very own shopping district called Downtown Disney. Because of the second theme park and shopping district taking up space where the main Disneyland parking lot used to be, more parking locations were needed. Unfortunately, most of the space surrounding Disneyland is already occupied by other hotels and businesses. This means any new parking lots would be further away from the parks. Though Disney does have the Timon parking lot still, which that long arched entrance leads to. It is small, and once the lot is full, you are redirected to other lots by way of Disneyland Drive. Because of those other parking lots, and visitors having access to Downtown Disney, there had to be multiple entrances to the parks, which meant many more signs were needed. These signs had different park names, logos, fonts, and not to mention ones that referred to the area as a resort and others just referred to it as a park. It was a mess. please visit my website at interactiverealm.com. There, you will find theme park and other various signs, crafts, stickers, and more. Plus, get exclusive hats, t-shirts, mugs, and other merchandise. And you can even request me to build something custom for you. The link is in the description. 2009. Though the arch entrance had reflected different promotions and color schemes throughout the years, it fulfilled its purpose for the last time as the arch was no longer needed. This was because its Timon parking lot was removed to make way for the new Cars Land expansion at DCA, thus eliminating access through the original entrance. (2021). We're now in today's timeline, and things haven't changed too much around here. We've added and changed some lands, rethemed some rides, and rerouted the Disneyland Railroad and Rivers of America. But when it comes to signs, nothing has been added, although the Disneyland Hotel did get a new retro sign in 2013. But we do, sorta, still have a sign on Harbor Boulevard. When DCA was built and they added the arch over the original entrance, they also created a pedestrian entrance just up the street from the arch. It's much smaller in size and has gone through its own promotional rethemings. But it's still there, even today. Some may say that as popular as Disneyland is, with mobile GPS and mapping applications, and with being able to see iconic rides like the Matterhorn and Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout as you approach the park, that having a landmark sign just isn't really needed anymore. And that may be true. After all, that's the way it was when Disneyland first opened. The only identifying object that can be seen from the road back then was the rocket to the moon, which stood 80 feet tall. But for me, I always remember seeing those signs as I approached Disneyland. They got me excited. They let me know I've arrived at a special place. A place that, even today, makes me feel like a kid. The one that brought me much joy and made me believe in magic. The kind of magic that doesn't require any tricks. The one, when you enter, it feels like you're instantly transported somewhere else. The one that is, well, the happiest place on earth. Thanks for watching. So there you have it, folks. This one was actually pretty fun to build. Took a little longer than I expected, but I think it came out pretty good.